the European External Action Service (EEAS), which supports the work of the High Representative in defining and implementing an effective and coherent EU foreign policy. The EEAS supports her tasks of conducting the EU's common foreign and security policy and chairing the Foreign Affairs Council. It also supports the High Representative in her capacity as Vice President of the Commission with regard to her responsibilities within the Commission in the external relations field, including the coordination of other aspects of the EU's external action. The EEAS works in close cooperation with Member States, the Council and relevant services of the European Commission. The Division, Strategy and Instruments of the European Neighbourhood Policy, (MENA.5), is responsible for the formulation and implementation of the European Neighbourhood Policy. It works with the two managing departments covering the ENP, MD for Middle East and North Africa, MENA, and MD for Europe and Central Asia, EURCA. In particular, it develops the strategic orientation of the policy, ensures coordination, provides guidance and support on relevant instruments, including financial assistance, and sectoral EU policies, including relevant CFSP, CSDP aspects. It contributes to the monitoring of progress made by the EU and its partners on the agreed reform agenda. It contributes to sector policy dialogue with ENP partners and contributes to negotiations on ENP association agendas and discussions on partnership priorities and various bilateral agreements with them. The division promotes the participation of ENP partners in CFSP, CSDP activities, EU programs and agencies, and disseminates information about the policy to the wider public. In so doing, it cooperates and liaises with the relevant EEAS and Commission services, EU delegations, other EU institutions, national, regional and non-governmental organizations, partner country authorities and other stakeholders, financial institutions and with other bodies and stakeholders involved in the implementation of the policy. We propose the position of the Policy Officer for Sector Policy Dialogue with ENP partners. We are seeking a highly motivated colleague who will work closely with the relevant services within the EEAS, the Commission and the EU delegations in view of providing advice, policy and political recommendations as well as guidance and support to EEAS ENP geographic and horizontal divisions on sectoral policies such as in particular, he will contribute to implement the external dimension of the EU's internal policies and thus ensure the fulfillment of the EU's offer of bringing the partners closer to the EU, inter alia, on the basis of convergence with EU norms and standards. This involves supporting political, economic governance reforms and interconnectivity aimed at securing well-governed institutions and access to economic opportunities for all citizens, and contributes to creating the right conditions for inclusive economic growth and job creation. It is done through an annual cycle of sector policy dialogues with ENP partners and negotiations on association agendas, action plans, partnership priorities and various bilateral agreements. He will ensure coordination of and development of the specific sectors for which he is responsible for. The job includes missions to the relevant partner countries. We look for candidates for this contract agent IV post should a. have passed a valid EPSO cast in FGIV, or e. be registered in the EPSO permanent cast in FGIV https://epso.europa.eu/apply/job-offers_& keyword equals. Knowledge of other EU languages would be an asset. Selection criteria: candidates should have an excellent ability to maintain diplomatic relations and to ensure communication in a complex, multicultural environment, have an excellent capacity to create constructive working relations in the field of external relations with national authorities, international organizations and EU. Furthermore, geographical knowledge and/or experience of the neighborhood, either southern or eastern, being a flexible team player would be considered as strong assets. specific conditions of employment, the successful candidate will be required to undergo security vetting if he does not already hold security clearance to an appropriate level, EU secret, in accordance with the relevant security provisions. Place of employment: Brussels, Belgium. Practical information contract agent position, function group 4, renewable contract for a maximum duration of 6 years, with a valid CASP exam. The selection panel will make a pre-selection on the basis of the qualifications and professional experience described in the CV and motivational letter, and will produce a short list of eligible candidates who best meet the selection criteria for the post. The candidates who have been pre-selected will be invited for an interview by a selection panel. The panel will recommend a short list of candidates for a final decision by the authority empowered to conclude contracts of employment. The authority may decide to interview the candidates on the final shortlist before taking this decision. Interviews will be scheduled in June, July 2018. Only shortlisted candidates will be contacted. Starting date: the 9th of January 2018. Deadline for sending application: please send your CV and cover letter to Ms. Anna Sterzowska at eeas.europa.eu by the 17th of June 2018.